Hello everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have another tank review for you. This is the brand spanking new premium tank, the Lycan, or the Lycan Knight with its special armour. We're going to have a look at the tech spec, and as always we will use Blitz hanger for that. This is a premium tank. It's in the event which is running right now, which is a great event. So hats off to Wargaming for that. I think that it's one of the best events in a long time, with some new and different tanks. This is the heavy Tier 7 premium tank with an excellent armor profile. It has a big gun, 120mm gun. It's going to give you 400 plus alpha rolls. It has 175mm of pen with AP, so if you're top tier you can pen everything with AP. 220mm with APCR, which you need if you're up tiered. 62mm of pen with HE, giving you massive alpha rolls, 515 to 650 alpha rolls. This is key, so load up HE, it's very good pen numbers on it. 800 and 900 meters per second of muzzle velocity, standard, going up to 1040 and 1170 if you use supercharge on AP and APCR respectively. 12.63 seconds of reload time, so it's long reload, so you need to make your shots count. 10 degrees of gun depression, 20 degrees of elevation. The 10 degrees of gun depression is important, and we'll discuss that in tactics later on, because it gives this tank some really interesting tactical options. Again, just looking at the shell types, and what we're going to do is we will, as always, we will maximize the supercharge, because the additional muzzle velocity increases the chance of penetration, because we know in the formula for armor penetration, muzzle velocity is squared, and therefore has an exponential effect. So you should always max out your muzzle velocity. It's basic physics and mathematics. Now, this tank it's well balanced. There's nothing spectacular about it. What I will say is they've done a great job at designing it. Lycan, of course, means wolf, and it does indeed look like a wolf, and it is indeed a hunter. It does 34.5 kilometers per hour in a straight line, 15 in reverse. It also has decent power to weight ratio, so it's effective at getting around the map. It's not that slow at all. Obviously it's not as fast as a medium tank, but it can get around the map. It's decent enough at this. It's small too, it's not a big target, it's very sleek, and it has massive amounts of angles on the armor. The plates form really acute angles on the armor, which makes it a very, very difficult tank to pen, especially from distance. It has almost no flat surfaces, so this angled armor means that this tank is a bounce monster. You'll get bounces you're not even going to play for. It has an excellent armor profile, therefore really good turret and front armor. And you can see here, looking along the sides, those relative armor numbers are massive, so you can side scrape all day long in this tank. We're going to have a look at some side scraping in this tank. You'll see just how effective it is. It's an extremely effective side scraper. The lower plate is a little bit vulnerable, but in side scraping, of course, you will hide that. You look at the typical side scraping position here, we can see that the relative armor numbers are really fantastic, really, really good. But it's not just the relative armor numbers. There's so many plates on this tank, which when they fuse together form so many acute angles that you will get bounces all the time. And why? Because if the shell hits these where the armor is angled together straight on, they will bounce, even though the shell may have the penetration numbers to go through. If it hits flat, you're hitting at an angle. The angles are creating additional relative armor numbers, which are giving you bounces that you don't even have to play for. And if you've already played this tank, you will see that in effect you get these bounces that you haven't played for or angled for. So the tank is quite forgiving in that. If we look here, when you're front on against Tier 6 and Tier 7, this tank is extremely difficult to pen, as I said, really on the lower plate. And even when you're up tiered, again, really only the lower plate when you're front on is vulnerable. You also have on the sides a bit of spaced armor. So if you're up tiered, or even in your own tier, there's these big heavy alpha rolling guns like the SU-152, the Rim, Borsig if you're up tiered. They fire HE rounds. If those HE rounds hit the spaced armor in this tank, they will not pen, and you will at best suffer splash damage. So overall, this tank has a very, very good armor profile and therefore is a very good heavy tank. Let's have a look at the tank in action, side scraping. As you can see, you can see that it looks great. It does look a bit like a wolf, those ears that it has on the turret, etc. So it's a nicely designed tank. I also think Wargaming have done a great job in transforming Alpenstadt into Alpenmare, I think it's called. So they've created a kind of Halloween map, which looks really good. It's very atmospheric. The lighting on it is just beautiful, so hats off to the designers and programmers on this. They've done a really, really good job. It's very atmospheric, as I said, and exactly what you want to see in the Halloween game. By the way, I also got the little additional attachment, the bats, just because why not, it's Halloween. You see there, got a nice bounce that I didn't even play for. It took a bit of risk, but I played this tank a couple of times, so I was confident that at long distances you're going to get bounces. Now I'm in a side scraping position, so here we are, first bounce 400. Put my shot in again, another bounce. You can see I not even in the, now I'm in a really good side scraping position, but even when I was sort of had not the optimal angle, I still got bounces. Going to pull out again here. We're going to slow it down a bit just so you can see. Going to put a round right into the Jagdpanther here, smash one into him, roll back. I take another bounce from him. So you can see this tank is really, really good at side scraping. You know, there we go, damage blocked. We are not even 50 seconds into the game and I've already done 1.25k of block damage. And of course this is great because blocking damage has a double whammy effect. You're not only blocking damage in yourself, but there are rounds that could also damage your team. And again, another round right into the KV3 and I block another 400 damage. So we are up to, with only not even a minute and a half gone, we're up to 1.8k of block damage. So there you go, you can see just how effective this tank is. It is a side scraping monster. Even if you're up tiered, you'll block shots when side scraping if you can get into a good position as I did there. So you can see there at 1 minute 20 seconds into that game, I had blocked 1.8k of damage and inflicted over 1.2k damage. So basically we were up at, I think over I think we're around 3.5k net damage, 1 minute 20 seconds into a game, which is really good a turn. In the end we lost that game because I think 3 or 4 of my teammates did 0 damage and I just got overrun. I think 5 tanks mobbed me, I got dogpiled. But hey, that's the game. You have to lose too, right? So which unfortunately, by the way, some people don't seem to accept in this game. But unfortunately losing is every bit as important and every bit as much as the game as winning. And as long as you do your job well and play for your team, that's all that really can be expected. So here we go. Again, we're going to see the tank in action here. Again, that going right into the lower plate, just using normal AP rounds, not using Pramo. I get a bounce off this turret with its troll armor and its angles. Push up again, same again, one into his lower plate, take a bounce from him. And I think this Tiger P is just so frustrated now. He's just going to try to push straight onto me. He has confidence in his armor, but unfortunately, because he's coming over a hill, he just exposes his lower plate. And that was just game over for him. So completely cleared him off. And now, as this here, you're going to see why you should load up a nice amount of HE rounds in this tank. I come up here and I am, this poor T23E3 has his butt to me. And that is not a good idea with this gun. Look at that, 644 max alpha roll. Smashed into me, he's lost over half of his hit points just from one round. I get another bounce, there's somebody behind me. I can't push forward while he's still there, clear him off. Another HE round, so there you go, 2 rounds, clear off an entire tank, and that's how effective the gun can be in this. I take 1 hit there, 2 hits, but you know, I'm happy to do that because we are winning this game. We're winning it quite easily now, and I was able to clear off 2 tanks for the sake of, you know, 2 low roll hits, so I'm quite happy to do that. Take it from my team as well. And I even got 1 bounce off the back of the turret. So just, again, I said you get bounces in this tank that you're not even going to play for. Again, now I've played, you know, I think I played 10 or 12 games of tank of this time. I'm familiar with its gun handling, so going down here, I see the Chaffee, he's running away from me, so I switch back to HE again, and there we go, look at his shot. Bam, 504 alpha roll, clear him off, and we are not even 3 minutes into the game, and I've done 2.83k damage, which is, you know, and 3 kills, a pretty spectacular performance in this tank. I'm gonna switch back to AP now. I just want to make sure I get some sort of roll here, even though it could possibly pen with HE on the back of the Cromwell, but he had an odd angle to me, so I just went for it, and there we go. Cleared off, 6-0 win. Pretty impressive display from the Lycan. So there we go, 3.2k damage, 3 kills. And you know, just a good example of how this tank can be effective. Good pen on the AP when you're front onto the Tiger P, which is a great arm profile, and that big HE rounds on the back. You can see there the badges you got: cool headed, I think there's a steel wall, high caliber, etc. Third class mastery badge. I wouldn't worry about getting mastery badges in these things right now, because its stats are going to be off the charts with all of the testers and developers running it against bots, etc. So, you know, stats like that might normally get you a mastery badge when all things being equal, but you're not going to get it now, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Just to enjoy playing the tank, which is a cool new tank, right? It's great from a great event, and there's nothing spectacular about this tank, but it's a good, decent, heavy tank. Has troll frontal armor, has these troll armor angles, which I really like. 120 millimeter gun is really decent handling, and you get big alpha rolls in this, but be aware you've got slow reload, you know, particularly if you're up against a Tiger P, which is going to be firing 2 to 2.5 rounds for each one of yours, because he's got a 5.5 second reload, and you've got 12.63 seconds. If he drops adrenaline and you don't have it, you're in trouble. So make your shots count, but you have this low profile, and therefore it allows it to be a great side scraper with that angle, with that armor profile as well. Go hold down, because it has this turret and it has the gun depression, 10 degrees gun depression, so don't forget you can go hold down in this tank. If you're top tier, you can go front line. If you're up tiered, you can go support line behind the other heavies. Load up HE, because you get great alpha rolls. You saw in that game massive alpha rolls with the HE, so load it up. And this is a decent heavy tank. It's nothing spectacular, but it's well balanced, it's new, and it's cool. It looks cool, it's good fun to play. So overall, hats off to Wargaming. Music is Hymn of Cherubian from the Liturgy of Saint Chrysostom by Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. I hope you enjoyed it, and I guess all remains for me to say is cheers, Mush. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, hope you found it useful, and pants off.